Well, it's a pleasure to be here with Dr. Karen Pohelos. And as you may be aware, Karen has begun to lead us in a discussion, both in the bulletin and via these videos, on the joy of love, to which all of us are called by the God-given gift of our fertility. And this is the bottom line of it, right, Karen? It's a gift.
Right.
It has the character of a gift. And so, like any gift, we receive it from God and we take care of it. Mm-hmm. And being a steward of the gift is how we discover our own fulfillment. It's receiving and caring for it, and God does the rest of it.
Right.
But what we're here to do this week is share that gift with young people. We're sitting here in the youth room of the parish center, newly refurbished, and we're here to talk about the very wonderful, challenging question of how we begin to talk to young people about their own gift of fertility, their gift of being receivers of life and sharers of life, and how they experience that in body and in spirit. We often think of that as a problem, but is it really, Karen? Is it really?
I would view it as an opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's where we were going. An opportunity and not as a problem. It is a challenge.
It is.
But problem frames it as something you have to figure out how to solve. And I think if we just look at what we've been talking about and carry this forward into looking at our youth, it's an extension of looking at living the gift of love, and how do we share a reverence for that with our children, who are the gifts of our love as parents.
Right. Yeah. And doesn't it really start with receiving the gift of your own body? Like to recognize the beautiful thing of being yourself.
Right.
And how that includes the capacity for love, connection, and nurture.
Right.
You know?
And I think it is, the challenge today is that it is even a very different generation than my sons are in their mid to late 20s. It's a very different conversation now even than it was then. For some of the peripherals, what are they getting exposed to at school and such? And, or like, you know, to respect their body, you look at selfies and Instagram, and everybody has an image of what their body should be like, and they're not happy with what it's like, and it leads to a lot of angst and anxiousness and confusion, and oh, my body doesn't look like hers, so therefore it's useless. And we were all made in the image and likeness of God, whether we are, you know, no matter what we look like, we all have this gift, and our fertility, our cycles are an inherent part of that.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at as that is what has become the fertility issue, looking at young people nowadays, that seems to have become what we were avoiding, which was the problem to be fixed. So everyone is worried about their children and what could happen. So, oh my goodness, do we need to be looking at starting contraception on them at age 11 and things like that? And you're going, no, stop the bus. Like, we need to come back to have them see the gift and not just look at it as something to be feared and fixed.
That's right. Yeah. It's that gift of being yourself, and then saying, it is God did a good thing when he made me, and I have this gift now to share with other people, and trying to communicate that not only to young women but to young men.
Exactly.
Say, you know.
And it's like sharing the gift of your life with another does not necessarily, like in the dating relationship, it's learning to, for young people, getting to know another person, gaining experience from that, but that experience does not have to move to what everyone is worried is the ultimate endpoint. We need to teach our children that, you know, that dating is beautiful, and like how to respect yourself and how to respect the person you are dating. For our young men and our young women, to both, you know, to know that it's not just One of my favorite quotes when talking about all this stuff is that, we're not talking about a big list of thou shalt nots. It may look like that. If you look at the catechism, you say, oh, it's a lot of rules and regulations and no's. It's a bigger yes. It's a yes to God's plan for us. It's a yes to his love for us and how that embodies in us and how we move forward with that. So it's learning how to look at the yes rather than just emphasizing the no's.
Right. That's right. Yes, I mean, I think one of the things is to say the yes is the first yes is to God.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I consent to be the person you made me to be.
Mm-hmm.
I use my freedom to say yes to being myself, my gender, my shape, my color, my height, my everything is really part of that gift. And once I'm able to receive it, then I'm able to be the one who freely shares it, not in a no one takes it from me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to give it away to get something else from someone.
Exactly.
I give it because I recognize this is the time and the place.
Exactly.
And but we have the challenge, the happy challenge of figuring out ways to share this gift with young people. I think we have some methods for doing that.
Right, and we are looking at these as a parish in conjunction with youth ministry. One of the things we are looking at for this fall is what's called Teen Fem, and based on a model of teaching young women about their cycles to help them gain a respect and again a healthy reverence for how they were made. And other programs that have done this have seen that young women learn to respect themselves more and they make better decisions in this department.
Yeah.
Parents sometimes I think have a fear is, oh great, you're teaching them everything so they can figure out how to get around the rules. And it's like, no, they're learning how to love themselves so that they realize they want to respect themselves and they want to ask for that respect from their partners.
That's right.
We will also be looking, so we're looking at offering that in the fall. Also we're looking for our young women and young men in our programs is to look at theology of the body, which are the teachings from Pope St. John Paul II, that talk about the body, what we've been talking about, the body as gift and self-gift. And there are ways to interpret that for teens to again help young women and young men gain this respect for themselves and this realization of what their bodies are and how God made them. And so we're going to be unpacking that with the youth ministry and then bringing that forth in our programs. And I think it's going to be exciting and it will help parents with this conversation. Parents are the first educators, we know that. We would never want to replace them in the conversation, but we're hoping to be able to provide tools to assist them with the conversation.
That's beautiful. And so that really, if you think of it, parents fulfill their own gift of fertility in talking to their kids about fertility.
Exactly.
And it's our hope to be able to shed light on the deep truths of this natural event.
And that's what we're aiming for.
That's fantastic.
It'll be exciting to see how this develops.
But I really appreciate, Karen, the beautiful contribution of what you're saying and writing for us this month as we spend the whole month coming up here on talking about the joy of loving. And I hope we're all going to come out of it with a deeper sense of what it means to inhabit God's gift of our body, and that we can really together testify to that. But thanks for helping us do it.
And I want to shout out to the parents here who might be listening to this that it's hard to share with children what we don't know ourselves. So we really encourage this session on July 26th is not for your children. It's really more aimed for the parents. But parents and our engaged couples. But please listen in on that because I think some of the things you will learn or review about the church teachings and about some of the basics of what we're talking about are going to help you as we launch this program forward and enable you to better answer your children's questions. So I hope you will join us for that.
Terrific. We'll look forward to this whole month and particularly to that program.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Yeah.